One of the most important things parents want to know is how you plan to maintain structure in the classroom. They want to ensure their child feels safe and understands the boundaries. You could say something like this. Welcome to the Teacher RockStar podcast, the podcast that's dedicated to providing valuable insights, practical tips, and proven strategies to equip new teachers for success. I'm your host, Steve Hiles, retired educator, published author, and instructional coach. Join me in each episode as we offer a supportive platform for navigating the challenges of the teaching profession. Now, today's episode is for all you first-year teachers out there facing what is often one of the most nerve-wracking events of the year, and that's back to school night. It's that night where you stand in front of parents and explain what their children will be learning throughout the year, while you might still be figuring out what you're doing tomorrow. Let me tell you right off the bat, you're not alone, my friend. This is a rite of passage, and even the most experienced teachers remember their first back-to-school night with a little nervous laughter. So today I'll walk you through key strategies to help you feel confident and prepared, even if you don't have all the answers just yet. So let's get to it. The first key is nailing down back to school night. As a new teacher, you might not have every lesson planned for the entire year, and that's okay. You don't have to do that. Okay. Granted, I would probably have at least maybe a week or two planned out. However, the whole year is not necessary. What parents really want to hear are about the major themes and goals for their child's learning for the year. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the curriculum and think in terms of broader units or overwhelming topics. For example, in mathematics, maybe you'll cover foundational concepts like addition and subtraction early on in the year and then later move on to geometry. In language arts, you might focus on strengthening reading comprehension and writing skills. Okay. Now, even if your lesson plan for next Tuesday is still up in the air, share those big concepts with parents to give them a sense of the journey their child will be on throughout the year. All right. When you talk about classroom culture, you're not just describing the environment. You're sharing your teaching philosophy, how you plan to make the classroom a safe, inclusive, and engaging space for all students. Here's how you can dig deeper into this topic for back to school night. Let's talk about establishing routines and expectations. One of the most important things parents want to know is how you plan to maintain structure in the classroom. They want to ensure their child feels safe and understands the boundaries. You could say something like this. From the first day, we're going to establish routines for everything from how we transition between activities to how we respect one another during classroom discussions. These routines not only create a sense of order, but also help students feel secure knowing what is expected of them. Be specific about some of the key routines you've implemented. For example, you could mention morning check-ins, or daily exit tickets as tools to help you gauge where students are emotionally and academically. Another thing, fostering social emotional learning. Parents are increasingly concerned with their children's emotional well-being. So mentioning how you incorporate SEL can reassure them. You could also explain how SEL fits into your classroom culture by saying, beyond academics, I want to help students build essential life skills like empathy, resilience, and problem solving. In other words, we'll regularly engage in activities that promote emotional awareness, such as group discussions on feelings, conflict resolution strategies, and teamwork strategies. Now, this is a great way to emphasize that you're not only teaching academics, right, but also helping students develop their interpersonal skills that they need to succeed both in and out of the classroom. So very, very critical there. Another thing is make sure to address how you're going to manage behavior in a positive and constructive way. Instead of focusing on punishments, talk about how you'll reward good behavior and how you'll deal with challenges. You might say something like this. In our classroom, we'll use positive reinforcement systems to celebrate student success. For example, students can earn points for teamwork, respect, and perseverance, which can then be traded for classroom privileges, like leading a group project or choosing a book for read aloud time. Highlight that positive behavior management isn't about controlling students, but guiding them to make better choices, which is very important here. Okay? Are you a teacher who finds yourself drowning in the challenges of classroom management? Do student behaviors leave you feeling overwhelmed and drained at the end of each day? Picture this: a classroom where your students are not just present, but fully engaged, focused, and eager to learn. Say goodbye to classroom management stress and hello to success. The Teacher RockStar Academy course is meticulously designed to equip you with the tools and strategies needed to skyrocket your effectiveness as a teacher. Curious to know if the Teacher RockStar Academy course is the missing piece in your teaching journey? If you're ready to reclaim control of your classroom and witness the incredible impact on your students, then use the link in the podcast description to learn more about this program. Let's talk about parent involvement in culture building. Making sure to invite parents into the process as well. Now, I believe building a strong classroom community is a team effort, and that includes you. Okay. I welcome parent input and involvement, whether it's through volunteering, sharing feedback, or just staying in touch about your child's progress. Now, this will ensure parents that they have an active role in their child's educational experience and that they're part of the support system that you're building. Okay. Now, have a few examples ready. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, even if you're still trying to figure out your daily plans, having a couple of specific examples that you could share with parents is a great idea. Okay. Now, here's how you can approach this in a more detailed manner. For example, focus on 2 or 3 specific activities that represent the main areas of the curriculum: mathematics, science, and reading, for example. Here's how you might explain this during back to school night. In mathematics, you may tell parents, we're going to kick off the year by diving into place value. One of the hands-on activities I'm really excited about is called number building, where students use base 10 blocks to physically build and manipulate numbers. This not only helps them grasp place value, but also reinforces their understanding of addition and subtraction. Okay. Now, for reading, you can mention we're going to have book club Fridays where students get to choose books based on their interests and have small group discussions. This encourages a love of reading and also strengthens their comprehension skills. With respect to technology and creativity, if you're using technology, project-based learning, or creative activities, parents will definitely be eager to hear about it. For example, one of the projects you might say is I'm really excited about is a science unit on ecosystems. After learning about different ecosystems, students will create digital posters using an app called Canva to showcase what they have learned about a specific ecosystem, including its flora, fauna, and climate. In this way, it is a super great way for them to apply what they know and also learn digital design skills. Now, this example shows not only your enthusiasm for teaching, but also how you're integrating technology in ways that engage students and prepare them for the future. Many parents want their children to develop collaboration and problem-solving skills. Highlight any group projects or inquiry-based activities that emphasize these qualities. For example, in social studies, you may say, well, we're going to be doing a project where students create a mock town based on different historical periods. Each student will take on a role. For instance, like a merchant, a farmer, or a blacksmith, and work together to create a functioning community. Now, this project teaches them about history, right? But also how to collaborate and think critically. Let's talk about student choice here. Mention how you're going to provide opportunities for their children with respect to student choice in the learning process. Parents love to hear about this because it means that your child is going to be motivated by personal interest. For example, you may say throughout the year, students will have what I term genius hour, where they get to research a topic of their choice and present what they have learned to the class. Now, this helps them take ownership of their learning and explore topics that they're really passionate about. By focusing on a couple of specific, exciting projects, you can reassure parents that their child will be engaged and challenged in your classroom, which is what we want. Back to school night is also the perfect time to set expectations for communication. Let parents know the best way to reach you and how often they can expect updates on their child's progress, whether it's through weekly newsletter, email updates, or a classroom app like Class Dojo. Make it clear that you are available and open up to conversations. What I find to be very, very helpful too is that you could even hand out a simple info sheet with your contact details and any other important class policies. This not only shows parents that you're organized, but also it makes them feel connected. In other words, what I've done in the past, and it's worked well, is develop little folder packets. You may have your classroom discipline plan on one and some other important information on the other side. One of the best pieces of advice I can give you is to be honest. Now, I can't emphasize that enough, okay? If you don't know the answer to a question, it's perfectly fine to say, that's a great question. Let me look into it and I'll get back to you. Parents will appreciate your transparency and willingness to find the right information. At the same time, my friend, always stay positive, okay? Even if you feel a little uncertain about parts of the year, let your enthusiasm for teaching and helping their children succeed shine through. Positivity is contagious, and if parents see that you're excited, they're going to be excited too. All right, so there you have it. Back to school night doesn't have to be a source of stress. With a focus on the big picture, a clear vision of the classroom culture, a few examples in your back pocket, and an open line of communication, you can make a great impression even as a first-year teacher, okay? Remember, it's all about connection and reassurance. Parents just want to know their child is going to have a successful year, and you're the perfect person to give them that confidence. All right, I want to thank you for tuning into the Teacher RockStar podcast. I hope this episode has helped you feel a little bit more prepared for back to school night. Keep rocking it out there. And remember, my friend, you got this.
You've been listening to the Teacher RockStar podcast with your host, Steve Hiles. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast as much as we have. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our ever-growing community of Teacher RockStars. Until then, thanks for listening.